In this video, I'm going to give you my 5 tips for getting the best 360 footage out of your camera, no matter what you're using. I'm using this one, the new Insta360 1RS 1-inch 360 edition. This is probably the best camera you can buy for the money. It's a little bit expensive if you're after just sort of an action camera on the go, run and gun camera. This is aimed at the prosumer sort of virtual tour market, but I found that it's the best quality camera for getting those adventure videos done on YouTube. So my first tip is to be aware of the stitching line. No matter what 360 camera, until they really do improve and negate that stitching line altogether, because this camera has 2 lenses, you're going to get some kind of stitching line that you can see. Insta360 do an absolute fantastic job of making that stitching line seamless, and it's very hard to see it, especially in this new 360 camera that they've released recently. But just be aware how you're holding it. Have the camera sort of out there, the lens facing towards you a little bit, but parallel to the ground as well to get the best sort of footage. Don't have it turned like that towards you, because you'll have the stitching line right through the center of your face and it will be noticeable. But if you have that parallel to the ground, you sort of have it on the horizon level, it is a lot less noticeable in your footage. So tip number 1, be aware of the stitching line and how you're shooting your 360 footage. Tip number 2 is to keep the lens clean. Every camera comes with a lens cap. If you're not using the camera, keep that lens cap on there to stop these lenses getting scratched, especially on this new 1-inch edition. The lenses are quite big. They can't be replaced either, so just be careful of these. Make sure you don't put it lens down on the table. Also, the good advantage about this camera is that you can put it on the side. It's thick enough to stand up on its side like that. Insta360 sends you a cloth with most cameras as well, so you can keep that lens clean, make sure that the footage looks its best at all times. Tip number 3 is to shoot in the highest resolution, and there's a few reasons for this. With the new 1-inch edition, it can shoot in 6K exports in 4K, so that is the best footage you can get from Insta360 at the moment. The Insta360 1X2 shoots in 5.7K and exports in 1080, so make sure you just shoot in the highest resolution, because when you do export it, it does reduce that resolution a little bit because of the whole processing. But also, if you shoot in the highest resolution and you want to crop into an image, having a high resolution allows you to crop into that image, and you can zoom in, zoom out, and still keep the quality in the footage. So tip number 3, make sure you shoot in the highest resolution possible. Tip number 4 is to learn your editing software. There is obviously the app, which is absolutely seamless, and 95% of you out there will use the app to export, edit your footage, and it is a really easy process. I've done some videos on using the app and exporting the footage. I'll link it up above if you want to go and check that out. But the desktop studio is something not to be scared of. It's really intuitive, really easy to use if you spend just a little bit of time learning it, and once you've learned it, you'll find that exporting the footage and editing it gets really quick and seamless over the days and weeks that you're using it. When it comes to software, Insta360 are streets ahead of everyone else. The AI as well, the snap feature in the app and the auto framing features, the tracking that they've put into these cameras is phenomenal. So don't be scared of it, learn the software, put the time in, and then you'll get fantastic results at the end of the day. Number 5 is to not be afraid of manual mode, especially when it comes to low light conditions. I'm going to be doing a video soon on how to get the best footage from low light situations, and that involves maybe putting it into manual mode to get the absolute best low light footage. So these cameras are capable of being honed, being tuned in that manual mode. You can get the footage, you can change the frame rate, you can change the ISO and the white balance to get everything looking how you want it to look. So learn about the camera as well as learning the software. Learn all about how to use these cameras in manual mode. It really does make the difference further on down the line when it comes to getting the best footage from these amazing cameras. And my last bonus tip is just to have fun. These things are incredibly fun to use. You can be super creative with them, and they are just my favourite things to use at the moment for getting the best sort of interesting footage for my YouTube videos. They are brilliant cameras, and if you do want to grab one of these, there is a link in the description down below. Insta360 are giving my subscribers an all-purpose tripod and a 120cm invisible selfie stick with every purchase through the link down below. But that's it for this one. I hope these tips helped. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know anything else about these fantastic cameras from Insta360. I'll see you on the next one.